Thank you, gentlemen and guns. Coming.
Hey guys, brand new podcast. I think you're getting the theme now. We podcast on Tuesday, vlog on Wednesday, podcast on Thursday, and then drop a vlog during the weekend somewhere. That's my setup. So sign into my YouTube channel, subscribe. If you don't know my YouTube channel, just go to bertbertbert.com. At bertbertbert.com, you can see all my tour dates, like the fact that I'm at the Ice House on February 12th. I'm doing a set at the Comedy Store on the 16th. Oh, for Ari Shafir's storytelling, I'm hosting it that night. I'm at the Hard Rock Casino in Sioux City on the 17th, Omaha the 18th. Listen, just go to bertbertbert.com. You can find my YouTube channel, my Twitter, my Facebook, my tour dates. Everything is there. And you can go to Bertcast if you want to get a shirt or whatever.
Or a mug.
Thank you, everyone, for downloading the Adam Carolla podcast last week. Record fucking numbers for me. And thank you once again, Adam, for taking the time to do that. Today's podcast is fucking fantastic. I met this guy in West Nyack probably 6 years ago. I want to say 6 years ago. But I kept running into him, and he had this amazing set in Montreal that was like literally everyone was talking. Anyway, hold on. Let me not do his intro right now. My wife's here.
I am here.
Hey, Leanne.
Hi, Bert.
Is there anything you'd like to talk about today?
Well, I just wanted to let everybody know that this episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Start building your website today at squarespace.com. Enter the offer code BERTCAST at checkout, and you'll get 10% off. Squarespace, build it beautiful.
Squarespace, build it beautiful. And thank you, Squarespace. I'm sure you'll probably walk into the middle of the podcast somewhere and say hi.
Oh, of course.
Oh, that's fantastic. This podcast, I've already recorded, obviously. And it might be one of the best podcasts I've ever done. It is hilarious. We laugh hysterically for the first 30 minutes. Then my gardener shows up, as always. Anyone who's a fan of the podcast knows that my gardener's at every big podcast I have, and he decides to walk in on the show. And
even though I had told him that you were working and not to disturb you.
And he decided to walk in on the show, and Lewis loved it, and it is absolute chaos unfolds. So it's one of my favorite, and this guy is such a hilarious comedian. Like I said, I've known him for a while, and it's great to see him blossoming and just destroying in this business and taking things to the next level. You might know him from his podcast, Legion of Skanks. He's got a show on XM Sirius. He's got his own show, his own solo podcast. He's big on Periscope, too. If you haven't watched his sleeping videos, then you're missing out. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Louis J. Gomez.
This is
Hello. Yeah, move any of this shit. Dental flossers.
Fucking shit.
I'm dying to find out what your perspective of LA is when you come out here.
I love it, dude.
Do you?
Oh, yeah, I do love LA. And I was just saying I love it as in I'm ready to talk.
Here, let me see your levels.
Hey, check. What's going on?
Okay, let me raise
Puerto Rican Rattlesnake. Louis J. Gomez. Real ass dude. The show.
So, yeah, because I forget that that Nate's got a place out here.
Yeah. He rents a place. He bought a place in Tennessee, and then he still rents a place in LA because he comes here like probably once a month.
Does he just do straight road work these days?
I think he's doing it all, dude.
I mean, television and obviously and everything like that. But is his focus like mainly like road work?
I think he wants a TV show.
Sorry. Yeah.
As close as possible. Sorry.
Yeah. That's fine.
I have no idea how sensitive these are.
No. They're pretty fucking. I drop them a lot.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
Or you throw.
This isn't as professional as all the millions of podcasts you do over in.
It's kind of funny because it really does range. Like you go to like it's sometimes just a Zoom recorder with a couple mics. And then sometimes you go to a fucking huge studio at NBC Universal, and you're like, "This is the same thing as Bert's podcast."
It's so bizarre to me. Like someone said to me, I forget who it was. They're like, "This is my wife getting cow." There we go. Just walk right by. I did a podcast with Carolla yesterday, and had him on my podcast. And they were like, yeah, come on out to the studios. And I was like, cool. So I go out, and in my head, I brought my fucking recording equipment, because that's, I don't want to assume that we're just going to use one of his studios.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, we'll just use our stuff. And I was like,
you can put your MP3 recorder away.
yeah.
We got this.
So I wish I had someone who could run levels for me and stuff, but for the most part, I feel like it's the same shit. I run it through Levelator at the end of the day. I post it, and I'm a little bit of a micromanager. Like, I want you to be able to. It's one of the reasons I don't go live with this. Is that, like, say you said something off color, or that you weren't comfortable sharing.
Right, about the Jews. Yeah.
I want you. I did it one time on Bobby Kelly's podcast.
What'd you say?
I said the N-word.
Isn't it funny, though? It's so weird. I feel like podcasting in this world, you can kind of just say it.
Yeah.
You can kind of say it.
It was.
You can't write it.
It was. I wrote it. I wrote it in my book.
That's way worse. You can say it on a podcast and be like, oh, I was kidding. We were joking. We're all joking.
It was the I said it both times. I said it in character.
You said it twice.
Yeah. No. The one on Bobby Kelly's podcast, I just said it like in character, but I was talking to Bobby and I forgot I was podcasting.
But did you say it like nigga?
Yeah, like a black dude saying.
Okay, that's fine.
It was a black guy from the kitchen at the Hartford Funny Bone.
Okay,
that said it to me, and the effect would have been lost. And then I didn't realize I said it on a podcast, and then I was like panicked.
You told him to delete it?
I literally was like, hey man, can you pull it out? And he was like, are you serious? I was like, I don't know. You never know. You never fucking know.
No, here's the funny part. You're right.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. But if I were to delete every time I've said the N-word on every podcast I've ever done, that's a full-time job in itself. I'd have to hire a personal assistant to pull out all of my N-words and faggots that I've said on podcasts.
It's like, and then in my book I wrote it, and once again I wrote it as someone else saying it.
Yeah.
And it loses the effect if that word is, if you write the N-word, then that loses the effect.
Like the asterisk. I had a buddy, he's a comic from Seattle, young comic, Spencer O'Neill. I like to plug people's names, give him a little shout out. Funny guy.
It feels so good when someone does it for you,
Yeah, it really
it?
does. So he tweeted, it was such a funny idea for a tweet. He was like, if you write N asterisk GA, isn't that the same thing? Like, it's just you're just, I don't want to fuck up his tweet. Here's funny. I said his name and then I just said a shitty tweet. So you guys don't follow that fucking guy. I almost want to find the tweet because I don't want to fuck it up. But it was, I'm going to pull it up while I talk to you right now, dude. But yeah, it's, I don't know, dude. It's a weird thing because I think right now comics got microphones and MP3 recorders, and then we just kind of it was almost like the Wild West. Like, we didn't know. We didn't realize the responsibility of something that's going to go on the internet forever. But at the same time, I think it's kind of good. The more Hulk Hogan and Dog the Bounty Hunter get caught saying the N-word, the better it is for us, because at the very least, we're joking.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's never been Greg Fitzsimmons one time said to me, he goes, he said, have you ever said the N-word? And I paused. And he goes, listen, there's a difference between saying it and using it.
Yes.
And he was like, if you use it, I don't want to hang out with someone who uses the N-word.
Right.
But if you say it, there's nothing wrong with saying it. It's simply a word. I mean, Louis C.K. said it on almost every one of his specials.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of the funniest, this is my fucking gardener. He comes every day, second night podcast.
Yeah, but there's no other podcast that has gardener ambiance in the background. Yeah. So it's a differentiator. It's a positive thing, Bert.
Chris Titus is telling the most moving story about his mom killing herself, and my gardener's just yeah, it's one of those things, but it's also like you know what? Because I'm employed by a network, I get sensitive to it. And I go, I'm sure you pull anything out of context and it's going to sound fucking horrible. You know, it's like the Donald Trump called Ted Cruz a pussy.
Yeah.
But apparently he didn't call him a pussy. And it's like the Cam Newton shit, where Cam Newton stood up and walked off, and all you see is that clip of Cam Newton getting up and walking away, and you're like, what a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
No, they're pulling out important information that apparently the fucking cornerback was right next to him going, man, throw the fucking ball.
Right, yeah.
Like, all those things, like Donald Trump didn't call him a pussy. Someone said, Ted Cruz is a pussy. And Donald Trump said, I don't agree with you. I don't. And then said what she said is Ted Cruz is a pussy.
Well, that's the, and we do Legion of Skanks, which is the whole show. I mean, we did it on purpose. Very much on purpose, we titled it Legion of Skanks, the most offensive podcast on earth.
Yeah.
It was a very deliberate move because we want people to know if you click play on this, you're going to hear some shit that's going to offend you.
Yeah.
And I think this is the reason why we haven't gotten in any trouble for anything we've said on it. Yeah. It's because it's like it reminds me of that, the documentary they made about the joke The Aristocrats.
Yeah.
It's like you're not going to get offended by people talking about incest and racism and sexism within the context of that joke because that's the idea of the joke. So Legion of Skanks in itself, I like to think of it as kind of like a safe space for us to come in and fuck around and say stupid, ridiculous, over-the-top shit. We get stoned and drunk, and we just let it fly.
Yeah.
Like, the more sexist and racist it is, the better it is for the show. And it's kind of funny because... there's almost like this whole PC thing where people are like, oh, well, yeah, we're moving to a more liberal society. People don't want to laugh at racism and sexism. Fuck you, dude. Go look at any YouTube video or comment. Look at any Reddit comments. There's a lot of people who live in that world who find that type of shit funny. And it's like, we're just pretending that it doesn't exist.
Yeah. And nowadays, it's like I heard them say today, the Republican Party's split up because now there's people that are going, what's bothersome to me, I have no problem with political correctness. I really don't. I think political correctness brings about a better society, but political correctness used not as a fucking moral stamp of how great you are by it, but being just a better person.
Yeah.
Like I don't, listen, if me saying one word hurts your feelings, or like the word retard, like to throw it around flippantly like that, I get it. If there's someone who's got a child with Down syndrome and that fucks them up, I get it. I understand that. But what I don't like, I saw this the other day. This fucking blew me away. There was I'm watching. I pass out, apparently watching the Christian network, and I wake up, and this is what it is. It's a children's show, and they've got a woman, a couple hacky Muppets, and then three other kids, and it's all life lessons. And she's like, they sing some, I'm not even fucking around, they sing some song about being sheep to Jesus. Now, we
all know what they meant.
Yeah. I'm too hungover to fucking change the channel, and I'm just sitting there watching, and she goes, would you like to meet my friend Madison? And they're like, yeah. And so then she goes, Madison comes in with sunglasses and a stick. Madison's blind. She goes, Madison's no different than us. Now, that's a stretch. She's a blind. Let's just don't fucking no different. You can't say that. That's political correctness run amok.
Yeah.
She's no different than us.
And that's really offensive to all these kids with perfectly good eyes.
Yeah.
I just feel bad for them.
Yeah.
Like, really? You see us like that?
And so Madison goes, they sit her down, they go, did you know Madison can read? And they're like, and you...
The kids are like, no fucking way, dude. I'm out of here, dude. Literally, the kids are going on strike now.
And so, by the way, these kids have been coached because they don't do a double take. Like, are you fucking kidding me? She's got sunglasses on. How can you fucking read? And so, I wish my garden was...
Dude, Madison's sense of smell is out of control.
It smells like a fucking novel about relationships. And so this gets worse. So they go, no, she reads Braille. And one of the Muppets chimes in and goes, well, isn't that neat? Madison has no frame of reference for a fucking Muppet, and she fucking jumps. She goes, she just hears this monster rub up on her shoulder.
This furry fucking thing with big plastic eyes.
I am hungover as fuck, howling laughing. Oh my God. And I literally was like, I watched the whole fucking thing, and then Madison, I'm sure they went to break because Madison was more comfortable with the Muppets, but I was like, this is what's wrong with political correctness. Everyone said, she's just like us. No one said, hey, listen, Madison, there's some animals that are floating around that you can't really wrap your head around what that looks like because you don't even know what that means. It's like a dog that talks. Like, it was so fucking funny.
That's really funny.
So my problem is with political correctness is, it's like my wife's friends that are politically correct. Like I'm politically correct in the sense that like I have love in my heart. That's all. That's all you need. That's all. That's what political correctness should be. Do you have love in your heart for people? Do you care to hurt people callously? But you're right. You look at fucking Reddit. You look at the internet. You look at YouTube comments, and they would be the most racist statements you've ever fucking heard.
Yeah.
I had to disable comments on one of my jokes. I was like,
I just can't deal with this.
yeah. I was like, I don't want to be the jumping off point for racist people just to lose their fucking minds.
Well, it's the. It used to be you go into a bathroom stall and you write "I hate niggers" on the bathroom stall to be funny as like a little punk ass kid. Not me, but I'm saying just the kids who would do it.
Yeah.
Now we've created that anonymous space to go and do that in YouTube and Reddit, and it's like that anonymity. Look, it's almost intoxicating. I get it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't get in trouble for anything you were going to say or do, you know what I'm saying? Just for the sake of just being an asshole, you might say and do some weird shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. It's like throwing a rock during a riot.
Yeah.
Like you just want to fucking be one. I watched these kids riot in who just won the Super Bowl in
I don't watch sports.
Boston. Whoever
Denver.
fucking won. Denver. Yeah. I watched these kids riot, and they were just it's like what my wife used to say, trying on behaviors.
Yeah.
They were just fucking.
They don't know who they are. You don't know who you are until you're like in your mid-20s, and then even then you don't know.
Yeah, and by the way, I hope no one listens to this podcast is thinking I'm politically correct at all. But I definitely mean to say that white people are as guilty as black people for rioting. That I think it's the exact same behavior. It's just simply people seem to condemn black people when they do it, and white people are like, well, there they go, just having a little fun. Their team won,
Yeah. Well, I think it's kind of funny because when black people riot, it's typically, there's more of like a movement behind it or like a thing. So I think, I don't know, you end up kind of empathizing a little bit more with that. Even though I don't empathize with anybody picking up a brick and throwing it through a window, I think there's a better way to get your message across.
Yeah.
When you're seeing white teenagers riot because their football team won, you just kind of fucking, I don't know. I don't have respect for anybody who's rioting,
right?
But I have a lot less respect for somebody who's rioting because their team won a championship. What the fuck?
Yeah, I agree.
What type of weird thing is that?
Yeah.
But it's funny you say that because you talk about the way you carry yourself and the words you say. We try to say the most ridiculous, stupid shit ever. We joke about, literally anything, right? I would easily make a joke about a woman being in an abusive relationship. I have no problem. That's not off limits at all.
It's not off limits, yeah.
But if I saw a dude hitting his woman on the street, I'd be the first guy to step in and stop that from happening.
That's so funny.
You know what I'm saying?
That's so funny. I would not.
You would just you'd write a joke about it.
I literally, I saw two homeless people in the park.
Wow, homeless people aren't really people. I'm talking about people with jobs, that are contributing to society.
At a Subway. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the whole rape culture thing got me so irate because it was purporting that a joke about rape instigated rape.
Yeah.
That's fucking impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some of the people with the most twisted sense of humors that love rape jokes that would never. My statement was people who make rape jokes are the last people to rape.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
And if you're raping, you're not joking about it. You're trying to hide that fact. You're not going out. Here's the thing, like, the idea of a rape culture, look, I guess it exists, right? I guess it does. Here's the thing. I talked about this recently. We used to stand out in front of the Comedy Cellar, right? And we used to almost create like a gauntlet. Like, there'd be like four guys on each side, just comedians, just to be idiots. And we'd create basically a gauntlet down the sidewalk. So when girls would come through the gauntlet, we would just start basically catcalling them. We're just like, yeah, girl, And it's like 10 dudes at the same time. And it's obnoxious and it's stupid. It was harmless though. It was harmless and we were just being stupid and it was one of the funniest things ever and we would laugh and it was really funny for like 2 weeks. We just did this. This was like the gag for 2 weeks. And I think back at it now, right? And I go, that wasn't cool. Yeah. What if a girl that walked through that gauntlet had been sexually assaulted by a gang of guys a week before?
Yeah.
Talk about triggers. This chick, it probably sent her off into a fucking, it's me and Big J, fucking just ugly fucking losers.
Jay's got those fingerless rape gloves on.
Yeah, we look like we're a gang of rapists.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, yeah, when they talk about a rape culture, I guess that's what they're talking about. We felt like it was okay, and now there's a movement that, I've changed my opinion on that thing specifically as I've gotten older. I don't know if it's me maturing. I don't know if it's society kind of pushing that, that there is a rape culture and we should be aware of it. But I think it's good that I'm no longer doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I used to follow this woman, Lindy West. It was a girl that Norton debated.
Yeah, Norton and her.
I used to follow her just because I was like, it's fun to get opposing views every single day. It's nice to get your brain thinking as a comic, I believe. Yeah. Just hear the other side of the fence every single day. And I'm not saying that I'm politically totally on the opposite side of the fence of Lindy West, but for the most part, things that send her through the roof, I wouldn't even notice.
Yeah,
they wouldn't even show up on my radar. But I had to stop following her because I feel bad for her. Like there's so much negativity in her life.
Yeah,
like all she does all day long is fight with people, and I so badly wanted to like reach out and go like, hey, this can't be good for you. Like, just to fight with people all day long,
dude. So it's like. I do this. The reason I don't go on Reddit anymore is specifically almost for the same thing, because there's so many negative things that you hold on to the negativity. You know what I'm saying? You really do. I can have 100 positive comments and then one negative thing will fucking just get in my head and it'll eat at me. And then I'm changing my behaviors on radio shows and podcasts and in stand up for some cunt that hates me.
Yeah.
I'm changing the way that my instinct for funny and my instinct to create a funny show is substantially better than some fucking booger in his basement.
Yeah.
Some 19-year-old kid who's never created anything. Why am I letting that get into my head and change who I am at my core? My instincts, my comedic instincts. That's crazy. We ask for this. You know what I'm saying? We're putting ourselves out there, and we love to. And this, I say we. I include Lindy West. I include anybody who has a public personality, and it's their job to kind of put their opinions out there.
Yeah.
This isn't cancer research. We don't have to do it. There's no greater fucking good here. Lindy West can pretend that she's doing it for this greater cause. She's doing it for the same reason that we are, for fucking attention. Yeah. This is it. We all want attention. This is what we're looking for. And she's getting a lot of positive attention and she's getting a lot of negative attention. But I can't feel bad for a person who they make it their identity to seek out attention.
Yeah. And what's interesting you said is that you will allow. That you had to stop it because you were allowing some booger in a basement to change your opinion, make you second guess your gut instinct. What I find is happening on the other side of the fence is that it's not allowing, and I'll use Lindy West as an example, but the negativity she gets only strengthens her stance. So no one's really like. Whereas as a comic, you're right. I get negative feedback, and I'm like, wait, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Like why am I? What's wrong with me? Maybe I got to second guess myself. When I was like, it's just a joke. I was just trying to make people laugh.
Yeah. And by the way, that one piece of negative feedback. You have 500 people that are going, I fucking love that.
Yeah, but that one thing you go, motherfucker, like, I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah.
And then you second guess yourself. Whereas, and I'll just use Lindy West, but like, she gets negative feedback and almost she shuts her ears more and says, I don't want to hear, you guys are all horrible. How dare you ever question me? Where you go, maybe maybe there's, it's like there's someone I saw the other day online. I'm not going to say their name because I don't want them to have to deal with negativity. But like they were getting negative things, and any comment that was not their opinion, they automatically blocked the person and fucking told everyone to go hate that person. Yeah, and I was like, I think you're missing the point of the dialogue. Like the dialogue should be back and forth, and that's how you learn. Not that comics are more noble than anyone else, but I feel like as comics, you definitely learn and listen.
Well, that's the thing. We're shaping our philosophy in real time, right? Like if you watch my career, and it's especially now where we have Periscope and podcasts and all this other shit. If you've been watching my career for the past 6 years, you've watched me grow as a comedian for the past 6 years. You've watched me change my opinion on things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you have an agenda and your whole thing is, dude, I gotta fucking be on the right, or I gotta be on the left, or I'm a libertarian, or I'm Christian, or I'm gay, or whatever it is, and your agenda is to push that.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You're not shaping philosophy. You're just constantly pushing your fucking agenda. I don't have an agenda. My agenda is to be just to be funny and to make a living off of my words.
It rests in the cloud.
Yeah.
Your agenda rests in the cloud, and the cloud goes on either side of that fence.
Yep.
Depending where funny is.
That's it.
And because our agenda, we don't have an agenda. That's the fucking genius. What you just said is fucking mind blowing. I do not have an agenda. I just want people to laugh. My only job at the end of the day is to get laughs. That's it.
Nope. There's no bigger political picture. I don't side with any specific type of belief. I don't subscribe to a certain belief system that I'm going to go and push on people. And this is why people, and not to shit on him, but Jamie Kilstein, a lot of people throw him under the bus because he stopped being a comic and he's sort of just pushing the agenda. And then the funny ended up being like the 5th, 6th, 7th, most important thing to him. It became all these other little things. And it's like comics just don't really respect that just in general.
Yeah.
That's why every comic stopped like associating themselves with him.
Yeah. That's interesting what happened to him.
Yeah. He used to be my friend. The first time, this is so funny, dude. The first time I hung out with Big J ever in life outside of comedy is right when I started comedy. It was me, Big J, Kurt Metzger, Pete Holmes, and Jamie Kilstein.
Wow, what an interesting
fucking
group.
Weird group of people, right? And we went to see Phantom Menace, or one of the Star Wars that came out at that time.
Yeah.
It's a fucking great Kurt Metzger story. You know Kurt, right?
Yeah, of course.
Kurt, in my opinion, is the best comic that's been doing it under 20 years on the planet. I think he's fucking phenomenal. Like, just a genius. But he's like a psycho, like a real deal, like lunatic.
He is.
And we got a cab at like 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, because we saw a midnight showing. It came out that night. I remember it took us forever to get a cab. We had just gotten Slurpees from 7-Eleven. So it's goofy-ass Kurt Metzger and fucking goofy me. Just this 10 years ago now at this point. And we go to get in this cab, and he didn't want to give us a ride, but we kind of just bullied him into giving us a ride from Queens to Brooklyn. So we're driving, and the guy won't answer anything. It's really eerie, the cab driver. He's just driving silently. So we're like, yeah, buddy, you got to turn up here. And he missed the turn and just keeps on going. And we're like trying to be tough guys, but at this point we're legitimately scared, both of us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're like, buddy, you should have made that turn. Make this next turn. He misses the next turn on purpose, and he's just driving, dude. He didn't want us to get in the cab at all. So finally, we're screaming. We tell him to pull over the cab, right? He pulls over the cab. Kurt's taking down the number. This is before like even everyone had like cell phones and shit. So he's like writing down the number of the cab. He's like, yeah, buddy, you're gonna lose your job. I'll show you. And the cab driver's got his window open maybe 4 or 5 inches, Yeah. So Kurt, he's like, dude, you're fucking.
I told you, man. What did I tell you? My fucking Gardner. We're in the middle of a pod. Give me 1 second.
Your Gardner has no idea what a podcast is.
And he literally just interrupted one of the best stories that I'm waiting for the fucking end.
Oh, fuck, dude, that was great. The Gardner just poked his head in and like put his face against the window and smiled and pointed at a piece of antique furniture.
Oh, fuck.
So anyway, all right. So so we get out of the cab. The cab driver, Kurt's talking shit to the cab driver like through the window, and he's got it open like 5 inches. And Kurt's got the Slurpee in his hand. And I almost saw the moment where Kurt got the idea to throw the Slurpee at the cab driver.
Yeah.
So he takes a Slurpee and he pegs it at the cab driver, but he misses the opening on the window. It hits the window. It was a perfect bounce. It went boing, flew back at Kurt, smashed directly into his chest, a pink Slurpee down his white t-shirt. I'm talking about down his whole chest, belly button, down to his dick, Slurpee. And the cab driver just laughed in his face and sped off while Kurt screamed in the street. It was maybe the best moment of my life.
Oh, that's fucking great.
To this day, and I watched my kid be born.
Kurt Metzger is one of my favorite people, and people know I've told a number of stories about him, but he has one joke that I can say out loud to people, and it still makes me giggle.
Yeah,
we were in Montreal. We were doing Pete Holmes' podcast, and at the time it was about Trayvon Martin, and Kurt was just one of the things I love about the business we're in is we have friends with totally different perspectives on everything.
Yeah,
and Kurt is contrarian to the base of him. And there was a picture of Martin Luther King in a hoodie, and
it was just hilarious in itself.
And it said, "Would you shoot this man in a hoodie?" And Kurt goes, "They shot him in a suit."
That's a great joke.
Oh, but wait, so. That's an eclectic group of comics.
Yeah.
I mean, Pete, these days, I'm doing a podcast with Pete, I think, on Saturday. Pete is, first of all, he's working a ton, but he's also taken his podcast to almost a semi-spiritual level. these days.
Oh, really? I haven't listened to. I knew Pete. Like when I met Pete, Pete was like the young buck out of everybody.
Really?
You know, before I started, when I started doing comedy, I was producing shows and running shows out of a couple comedy clubs. It was I didn't even. You always wanted to do it, but I just was around it, and I was running street teams in New York City. You know, now when you walk down the street in New York and they go, "Hey, do you want to go to a comedy show?"
Yeah.
I was one of the guys who ran the biggest company, like 2001, 2002, 2003. I ran a street team of like 50 guys that did that. I used to make a ton of money just selling comedy club tickets on the street. That's how I met Dave Smith. That's how I met That's how I met all these guys, because that's how I got introduced to the comedy world. So I hadn't even started doing comedy yet. When I met Pete was like the young buck who was. I remember he used to do a joke about. He looked like multiple celebrities. So it was like John Ritter. And throughout the whole set, he would just keep on throwing them out there.
Yeah.
Like he had like 5 or 6 of them. It was funny. It would just build and build and build. You know, it's like South Park proved that. It's like you just keep on hitting the joke, and then it stops being funny after like the 4th or 5th one, and then it became funny again the 6th time. So, but yeah, Pete was that dude, and then he just fucking blew up. He's huge now.
I listened to his podcast is pretty fucking awesome. Yeah, it's one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. But yeah, he was. I you know, it's like some of those guys, they do these self-help seminars, and then they kind of, you know, spit back the things that they've accrued at them on their podcast, and you just hear it and you're like, maybe I could, like, this, I've never believed in that shit, but would it fucking help me? Like, maybe I should fucking go to one of these seminars. I don't know.
I believe in all that shit though, dude. I mean, look, it's all, you know, I've read all those books. I used to be in sales, but you know, I ran street teams, but I went into sales after that, and I was pretty successful in sales, and that's all. You know, just the power of the mind and setting goals, and like I legitimately believe in all that, and I believe that can all help you, even in the on the most very basic level. If you have a confidence in yourself, if you feel as if you're enlightened, you're gonna carry yourself in a certain way, in a much different way, in a more successful way. You project an energy. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like when you get a new haircut and you're like, dude, I fucking look good. Yeah. You know, you go out and you're just carrying yourself in a certain way. Maybe you lose 20 pounds or you're in shape. That energy that you project, people feel it. You project it on other people. They go, oh, this guy's confident. He's got something going on. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason that there's certain people, even in the industry, after a few years, they get pushed through and people get jealous and they go, oh, why is this guy getting these opportunities? Because that motherfucker carries himself in a certain way. When he's in a meeting with executives or a team of writers, people go, ah, fuck, dude, this guy, he has something, you know?
Yeah, I wonder if it's so funny. I've been wondering about my energy lately, because I always feel like a child. I always feel like I'm younger than everybody. Even though I might be older than people, I still feel like I'm younger. Yeah. And so like, you drop off at school, like take my kid to school, I feel like all the parents are like 10 years older than me. I'm older than half of them. Yeah. And so I wonder about, oh, here comes my wife now. Is this like Leanne? I don't know, Leanne. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't know you were podcasting.
Hi.
What do you need? What do you need?
I'm sorry. Nothing. It was just a question about t-shirts. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I want that type of fear in my son's mother when she does something wrong. I'm like, dude, she would be like, fuck you, fuck your podcast. I got to walk through the yard.
She is obsessed with my podcast right now.
Oh yeah,
I introduced her to podcasting.
Yeah,
like, and I've been telling her, I've been doing a podcast for like probably 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, and I finally said you should check out what's the big one on NPR, Serial.
Serial.
I say you should check out Serial.
Season 2 blows.
She's obsessed with it.
Season 1 was awesome.
Season 1 was great.
Season 1 was fucking phenomenal. I attribute the success to Making a Murderer to how successful Serial was. That just week after week, like just breaking it down, like, and really deconstructing the story, you know, because those types of, you know, crime reenactment shows, that shit's been around forever. But the way they did that, it's very similar. I noticed. Yeah. I think the reason people got into Making a Murderer was the same reason that people got into Serial. Yeah, it's great. I thought it was really great.
So funny. I lost interest at the exact same time in both. Like halfway through, I was like, I just got to Google it. What happened? Technology's. It's not 1970. I don't have to wait till Tuesday to watch it. Yeah, I'm just going to Google it. Although I got to be honest with you, Netflix really blows my mind. Like what they're doing right now is really kind of like altogether mind-blowing, because it is the same reason I love podcasting. I want it now. Yeah. Like I like to be on a plane and go, what are my options? As opposed to just turning on the radio and being like, oh, I'll listen to this. Like just going, what are my options? And just going through and fucking downloading like 7.
Well, that's how people have it's almost like Netflix is changing the way people put out content in general. I noticed that I have friends putting out web series now, and they don't put out episodes weekly. They put out 10 episodes at once. We just click through on YouTube, and it's like, it's good and it's bad. As a content creator, you go, fuck, dude. God damn it. I just got to, it's almost like you're going to need a team of people in order to create content that competes, you know?
I talked to Corolla about this, but like I'm obsessed with, I do a vlog. I put it up bi-weekly, and it doesn't matter how often I put them up. It does. If you do every day, it's fantastic. But for the most part, someone finds one and then binge watches all of them.
Yep.
And that's the way content's coming out. The thing that I'm kind of interested in, I met with this guy, one of the managers at a comedy club, Jason Dixon, who's an old comic. He was telling me, he was like, you know what you got to be careful of? He goes, there's an old lesson, but like once you find the path, once you recognize the path, then there's already a new path being created.
Yep.
And he's like, so, you know, all these Netflix specials, clearly every comic, I'll just use comic B that was a celebrity in 1995 that is now wants to do an hour and notices Netflix and says to his manager, get me on Netflix, and they still got a name, and Netflix is like, fuck yeah, we'll pay him a lot of money. What's name recognition? Once that path has been found, it's time to find a new fucking path.
Yep.
And so like I'm wondering, like you know,
you look at Louis. I mean, Louis did a special independently. I think that's gonna. Here's the thing, man. Once you have your own name, you know, I look at like Bobby Kelly's a great example and Ari Shaffir are great examples. Those are two guys that the industry didn't want to fucking give anything to, and they just said,
that is legit true.
Fuck that. I'm going to build a fan base. I'm going to get funny as fuck, like undeniably funny as fuck. You watch either of those guys for an hour, you're like, holy shit, dude. Those guys are great comics that fucking murder. But if you look at it, until they had like 100,000 Twitter followers, nobody wanted to fuck with them at all. And I think and that's kind of what I'm trying to do, because the industry doesn't fuck with me. Nobody gives me any opportunities. Anybody who's a fan of mine, I organically dug those motherfuckers up. They heard me on a podcast. They saw me on something, some live show. That's it.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think that independently doing things, as a technology becomes cheaper, I think that that's the future. If you have a fan base, you know, Doug Stanhope's a great example. He'll come into a certain town and he'll just do his live shows. He's like, why would I go to the comedy club? I'll just go to the whatever local bar is or local small theater. I'll rent it out myself and I'll just make all the money myself. Yeah. I think comics just inherently are lazy. So people are looking for... I'm inherently lazy. Yeah, but now it's becoming easy. Look how easy a podcast is. Oh yeah. But even still, like, I should do more, but I'm lazy. I've always looked at the clubs as this way. Tom Segura and I go back and forth on this. I believe that they are allowing you to increase your fan base. And he's like, no. He's like, fucking Jesus. He goes, I feel like you find your fan base finds you. Like he believes, go do small theaters, go do small rock clubs, and get your podcast, do other people's podcasts, expand your fan base that way. I'm always like, go to the clubs, sell out early Friday, late Saturday, and let them paper Sunday and Thursday and accrue new fans that way. Yeah. I don't know if it works. I think you're both right. They're not mutually exclusive. You're both right. Yeah. You know, I don't think those are competing ideas. You know, I think if you're funny and you're interesting and you're engaging and obviously you are, you know, there's a predetermined ratio. This is the sales background that I have. It's all ratios, right? Yeah. So it's already predetermined in the world. If somebody was exposed to let's just say the podcast, right? If you played this podcast for everybody in the world, everybody, okay? Yeah. One out of however many people will become a fan of yours. It's a predetermined ratio. So it's just about keep on exposing yourself. Keep on getting yourself out there. Put yourself in front of people, and you can fuck with that ratio. Like, obviously, this podcast, very few people are going to continue to listen to it in Africa because they don't have the means to. Yeah. So, I don't go play Christian... I don't go play churches because they're not going to be into my shit, you know? But I think that's kind of the way that I look at everything. It's like every person that sees me or hears me on something, they're just a part of a ratio. It's just all math. How many, if you had to put a ballpark on a rough estimate of how many fans you have, legit, like fans, like you write a book, they are pre-ordering it. How many do you think you have? I mean, not more than a couple thousand, like fans, like
Fan
mine.
fans.
Like, look, Legion of Skanks is a huge fan base collectively. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's almost like a band. You know what I'm
Smart.
saying? It's like Skid Row. Like Skid Row has a much larger fan base than Sebastian Bach or Dave Sabo. Or the fact that I know the band members of Skid Row means that
Hey,
yeah,
you're
Dave,
one of those fans.
faggot. Oh, can you edit that? Ooh, Bert, I just said faggot on the podcast.
The sad thing is, you edited it now. They think you said the N word.
Can you edit that? I just call myself a nigger. I'm Puerto Rican. I can say all of these things. People forget that I'm Puerto Rican sometimes. I fucking lost track of what I was saying.
About it's
Oh, the
genius.
fans. Yeah.
It's one of the things that was the Death Squad. One of the beautiful things that was, when the Death Squad thing started, was that we were all a group of guys that everyone kind of got into other people because of each other.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like I think the Death Squad originators were like Tate Fletcher, fucking Joe, Red Band, Joey, Ari.
Yeah.
And then Callan and Duncan, and it kind of started growing. And then anyone who did Joe's podcast within that first year, the Death Squad name got attached to, and then you'd go and do these Death Squad shows and these Ice House Chronicles, and it was the same group of it was just guys that fucking all hung out.
Yeah.
But you shared a fan base, and you'd go to shows, and people would be like you could say I could say Joey's name in a joke, and people would lose their fucking minds.
Yeah.
I'd say I had a joke about Ari, and I didn't want to say his name, and then one night I said his name, and it fucking destroyed, and I was like, oh fuck, like
Yeah.
it's really smart to have that, almost like it's like a commune.
Yeah. Look, Bobby Kelly taught me that better than anybody else. That's a guy. If I got to give credit to one fucking dude that motherfucker kept me in comedy, because I was really, it was like a really dark period. I was about to move to LA for no reason.
Really?
And he convinced me. He was like, dude, you're fucking funny. He's like, you're just not ready. You're not popping yet. That's it. And I owe that guy my fucking life.
How did you meet Bobby? Just clubs?
Yeah, I met Bobby. Yeah, dude, just at the comedy clubs, like randomly. I booked him a few times before I did comedy. He was, at that time kind of coming up. And then I ended up living really, really close. I lived like a block and a half from him. Oh. So when he started podcasting, I was also just starting to podcast. So we ended up doing a few MMA podcasts together, because he's
what was that podcast?
The Hammer Fist.
Hammer Fist, yeah.
Yeah, and I did that on when he started his network. I was one of the first podcasts that they brought on to Riotcast. So that's how I kind of met Bobby. But, he's just the dude who, he's just such a generous guy. He brings all these young comics onto his show. Dude, Bobby could just bring fucking Norton and, Keith and Colin and all the guys that are at the Cellar. He could have just made that the podcast.
Yeah.
But he, I guess he saw what Dane did for him, and kind of like bringing him out and exposing him to his audience, and I think that he kind of wanted to pay it forward. So that's what he does. He brings on young bucks, and Bobby's funny enough that he can control the room and just create. He's an orchestrator. I don't think people give enough credit to Bobby Kelly for how good of a host he is, because he could bring in 7 people that don't know each other, that are all young comics that are a little nervous to be there, and pull out a 2.5 hour, 3 hour hilarious show. And I think that's a very specific talent.
I hosted his podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And as I got in there, I was like, I'm not prepared for this. Like, I literally was like, what am I about to do? Do I talk about myself? Do I talk to, it's time to get to know some people, Bert. But Bobby's, Bobby's like, I always like the secrets that comics have. Like one of my secrets is that I've called Bobby maybe a dozen times and just asked career advice. Like, no one would ever assume that Bobby, that number one, Bobby's the kind of guy that fucking stops whatever the fuck he's doing, shuts down and goes, all right, buddy. Like, one time I remember saying I really wanted to do Opie and Anthony, and I was very young, and I called Bobby, and I was like, and I just spewed. I kind of like verbally vomited all my feelings about how much I liked the show, how I wanted to do it, and Bobby's just like, and it was very real. He didn't candy coat things. He was just like, listen, man, they'd love you. They'd love you. But they look who they had on. They had Kevin Pollak on. And like, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. This has nothing to do with your career. Keep working, man.
So funny that thing you're talking about, that impatience, is such a fucking that's the motherfucker. That's a comedy killer. That's what kills young comics. That was why I wanted to quit comedy. Why I was going to move to LA. It's just like that waiting. Like, come on, dude. I know I want to do that. I want to be on late night. I want to be on TV. I want a half an hour. I know I'm ready. And you might just very well be ready. But for a multitude of reasons, you're just not given the opportunity. And that feeling of just like just watching everybody else get those opportunities, I think that's what kills more comedians than anything else.
100%. Just watching people just leapfrog you. And then you start having dialogues in your head about why things didn't happen for you. Like, I remember I wanted to do a half-hour special so bad on Comedy Central. And Steve Byrne got one. And Steve Byrne and I kind of started roughly around the same time. I had nothing against Steve Byrne, but man, I started having conversations in my head with what Comedy Central thought about me.
Oh yeah,
and I would, I forget who the president was at the time, Lauren. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What's crazy is I invested so much energy in someone, I can't even remember her name, who doesn't work in the network.
Yeah,
no one works at that network anymore that was there. Only person is fucking. I don't think anyone does. And so you look at that. And you just be like, they hate me. They fucking don't like me. How? And
then you're projecting that onto everyone else. That feeling, dude. You don't even got to say it. People fucking read into that feeling. You know what I'm saying?
And then, God forbid, the one time I run into them, I got, oh, here we go. This is how this is gonna go.
Yeah.
They're gonna fucking. They don't even know who the fuck I am.
They don't care, dude.
Literally, they don't even know I'm a comic. They've never heard my name.
Oh, here we go. This bitch again.
Yeah. And I literally, it's so funny. I look back at that and I go, I wasted a lot of time in my career doing that.
Yeah.
I wasted a lot of time. Barry Katz, I make fun of him all the time for the fucking shit he says, because half the time it's loaded in whatever is going on in his life, and he doesn't mean it to be advice to you. But like he said one thing one time, I had a bad showcase. I got very lucky. I worked the door at the Boston Comedy Club, got my first deal 6 months into doing stand-up, got a second deal the very next year, and then did a sitcom.
Okay, so you're the guy that everyone's bitching about.
No fucking clue.
Fuck you. You're bitching about Steve Byrne getting a half an hour special.
But I thought I was on that track. Like, I was like, hold on. Like, I'm the fucking chosen one.
Yeah.
Like, it really did fuck my head up. All that success early probably kept me in the business. I'm not going to lie. I'm not saying I would have gotten out of it, but I probably, I don't know how. I said to Ari one time, I really respect the fact that he fucking worked for everything he's got.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I haven't worked for anything, but I was blessed to be able to get money.
Dude, sometimes you just find a $20 bill on the street. And I'm not going to blame the guy that bends down and picks it up. It's just life.
Yeah. And so, but I don't know where, but Barry Katz said, I remember I had a bad showcase. My third showcase, I had a bad showcase. And I was like, and I told him, I said, I need to get up in front of those people again. I didn't do so well. And he was like, what? And I was like, Barry, they're going to fucking, everyone's going to be talking about me. And Barry was like, he said some really prophetic statement that I think about all the time. He's like, Papa, I think you're highly overestimating how often people think about you.
That's great advice.
And literally, and I was like, really? He goes, I haven't thought about your set once today.
Yeah.
And I'm your manager. And I was like, oh yeah, good call. And then literally, I went from this panic place to going, yeah, what the fuck am I worried about? Like, that didn't.
Well, think about this. I mean, how many times have you watched somebody eat their dick off on a show? I can't remember. I don't remember the last person I watched bomb. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
None of that shit matters at all. You know what I'm saying? I remember people had bad sets at Montreal during New Faces. I don't remember who they were. I don't remember at all.
All right, we're going to. Come on in, Gabriel.
Get him on the show.
Yeah.
Get him on the show.
Here, you got to talk into a microphone.
What's up, Gabriel? Come on.
Okay. Yeah, here. So, what is...
Who's talking?
You are.
Oh, okay. What?
How are you, Gabriel?
Oh, fine. You?
I'm pretty good. I don't speak Spanish. I would.
Oh, no Spanish?
I would love to.
Mexican?
I know I'm Puerto Rican Italian.
Oh, Italian? No.
But yeah,
Oh,
I have no culture.
parliamo l'italiano.
Oh, he speaks fucking Italian too. How's your gardener 40 times more educated than either one of us?
No, my grandfather was Italian.
Oh.
My grandma is Indian. She passed away when she was a...
You're not even Mexican. You're Indian and Italian.
Yeah. My grandma passed away when she was 107.
Gabriel, talking to the mic.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta
it's
eat
in...
it.
She's my father, my mom passed away, and they live in the San Fernando Valley.
Oh, okay.
They live over there. You know, cemetery, Rinaldi and Sepulveda. is where they live. So I go visit them every week.
Oh, that's cool.
Bring flowers. And
My mom lives...
burritos, tacos, taras, enchiladas, tortas, carne asada.
My mom lives in a cemetery in Rockland County somewhere. I haven't visited it. Rockland County, New York.
Oh, New York.
Yeah. And then my father, too. It's really a shame. My parents both my parents are dead. And what a difference. Like, he fucking goes every week to visit his...
Yeah.
Yeah,
his life is too short. You know, you live like, only like... right now is...
this is why I'm saying you shouldn't...
60 and 70. I'm maybe 3, 4, 5 more years and
then you're going to die?
Yeah, maybe.
You're the most depressing person I've ever met in my entire life, but you have a perfect attitude about it.
You don't live 100 like my grandma. You know, if you want chickens or you want eggs or you want something, you got to go and look for them in the montañas, in
the mountains.
Right now, in mountains, yeah. And now it's on, you want to eat chicken, you just go Kentucky, easy.
You just go to Kentucky.
It's why you live so not too many years, yeah. Only 60, 70, 80. My grandma, they want a chicken in those days. She want to run and get the chicken. And
that's how she lived so long. Yeah. It's like Rocky Balboa. That's how he used to train for the fights. He used to chase a chicken.
Yeah. How old were your father pass away?
My father, he was like 27. Yeah, my father was murdered when I was 4. He was stabbed to death. Yeah.
No, Chapo mafias or?
No.
You know Chapo?
It's not Chapo's mafia. I'm not Mexican. I'm Puerto Rican.
I'm looking for a job with him.
You're looking for a job with
Chapo?
Chapo?
People.
Dude,
yeah,
he's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, like...
You've never had him on your podcast before?
Yeah, looking,
please sit down, please.
You want a job? He's hiring people. He's in jail, but he's hiring a lot of people now.
You know what I love about him? What? He's wanted to talk on this podcast for a year. He sees it happen every week, and he waited for his opportunity for you to invite him in, and finally you did.
A lot of money, billions.
Chapo?
Yeah, Chapo. 53 countries.
Let's say Chapo offered you a job, $1 million a year. You got to kill Bert.
Oh, no.
You wouldn't kill Bert?
No, he don't kill he white people. He just only kill okay. Yeah, and I don't know, but it's a big business that man make a lot of millions because when he was little kid, he started selling drugs and planting the marijuana in Mexico since he was 12.
Yeah.
No money, no dinero. Now he's a lot of money.
So is Chapo is he a positive figure in the Mexican community? You think he's a good guy?
Oh, he's like, Al Capone?
Al Capone.
Al Capone, yeah.
Yeah.
He's more famous. Right now they selling a lot of T-shirts, shoes.
Oh, so like the rappers and shit are going to
Yeah.
They talk about Chapo like he's the new Al Capone.
One shirt, T-shirt or shirt, $200. $200.
No, I heard you, but I can't believe it.
Yeah, you cannot believe it. But
Chapo should start his own podcast.
Yeah, one hat like this with Chapo, $100. Yeah, in Mexico they making a lot of money, millions of dollars. And now you wanna do his movie?
He's doing a movie?
Yeah, you know the Kate del Castillo, a Mexican girl. She's gonna make the movie for the Chapo.
It's the Chapo, like the life story?
Yeah.
Bert, you should audition to play Chapo.
Yeah.
I think so. You could be Mexican though.
Yeah, I can play Mexican.
Yeah, easily. Can you speak Spanish? Fuck you. You can. I can't speak Spanish at all.
Why you don't speak Spanish?
Porque
this is how I'm not. You guys have never spoken even before.
No. Yeah.
You speak Spanish and he doesn't even know it.
No,
yeah.
But he speaks his Spanish is better. Yeah.
No.
So wait, what did you bring? What did you bring?
I bring this here.
Let me see it.
Now I'm buying a lot of stuff from the people, the famous guys. Yeah, I go to the Goodwills and all those areas. You find a lot of records, and maybe I lucky and I find some maybe a quarter or something from it's a quarter, 1934.
Yeah.
Cost maybe like the $3,000, $4,000.
Look, now that Bert's outside, tell me, how's it working for you? You like working for him?
Yeah.
He's a good guy to work for?
Oh, yeah, he's too good.
Does it bother you that he never tried to speak Spanish to you before today?
No.
Because that would offend me if I were you. Because you're...
What is that?
Maybe... Oh, that is for your cigarettes.
I don't smoke cigarettes.
No?
I smoke cigars.
Yeah, cigars?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
it's the same, right?
That's a great reaction.
Yeah, cigar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I go to Goodwill. I buy this from Goodwill. I don't try to make business with you because you're my friend, good friend. So only pay $60, but if you don't want it, I can put in the
$60.
Yeah, 60. I pay 60. I don't want to make 1 penny because he's a good guy.
Bert, I know he's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
I'll buy it.
And now I want.
By the way, that's a great sales strategy. Do it on his podcast where he has to look like a cheap fuck if he says no.
Now I want to buy my granddaughter box spring for her.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah,
Good.
I have a little granddaughter. She's 8 months.
Oh, really? Congratulations,
Yeah,
man.
thank you very much.
What's her name?
Gabrielle.
Gabrielle. Wait,
No, my granddaughter.
Yeah, you're Gabrielle.
Yeah, my granddaughter is Luna Aurora.
Luna, very beautiful.
Moon Aurora.
Very beautiful. Yeah.
What kind of work you do?
I'm a comedian too. Yeah, me and Bert. Comedian. Yeah.
Comedian. Oh, you look like.
Yeah. I tell jokes.
You look like familiar.
Oh no, I doubt you've seen me on television. They don't really put me on TV too often.
Davis Jr. and all this, Elvis Presley and all this. I know them all the time. I go and talk to them in Las Vegas.
Oh, when you used to know them?
I was gambler,
Oh, really?
Yeah, in my last life. Yeah, not this life, in my last life. Oh, thank you, gracias.
Bert, I
really appreciate.
I gotta sell this cell phone case. $20, dude. Do you want to brand me?
So I like go to Goodwill to buy all those items, and I look for the signatures. And I go Las Vegas, where they buy all the signatures for the famous.
Yeah.
Maybe I get. I have a signature from this guy. Make this kind of movies in New York about 60 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember the movies, but he's a good,
Well, don't.
good
Yeah.
guy. And maybe I bring it to him.
No. Don't do anything else. Let's talk before we get our
okay.
next purchase.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm looking for this Spencer O'Neill tweet.
Who's this guy?
That's me.
Oh, you look funny here. You look serious. Now you look really funny here.
This is the look you need,
Oh,
Bert.
this guy is famous?
Yeah, he's pretty famous.
Oh, look, I don't.
How long have you worked for Bert?
Oh, 20 years.
20 years?
Yeah, 20 years. Oh, no. Sorry. 20 years in this house, 25 years. Cleaning this house.
This house. So
Yeah.
he came with the house?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 25.
Legitimately?
You know,
You're just that nice of a guy that you didn't fucking fire him?
yeah, 25 years here. I know this house for 25 years. I'm Mr. Raz for 25
Who do
years.
you like better, the last guy or Bert?
Oh, I think
I love how honest he is.
both are same.
The same. That's such a
same.
lie. Here's the thing. You could have just said Bert, but he had to say the same. But that's
same.
so fucking funny.
That guy was a really nice man. He was like 100 years, 95.
95.
Yeah.
And he was very nice.
Yeah, his grandma, I think his mom and father give the house to him.
Do you still visit him? He's dead. I know, but he visits his parents every week. So
No, I tried to. No, I don't know where his family lives.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
No, he already passed away, but I don't know where he's now.
He should be the co-host of your podcast.
You can come on anytime you come in. Just come in and talk.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Okay? For now on.
yeah.
So thank you.
It's a recurring thing. That's great.
Maybe I bring. I buy. I have a beautiful bags like this color.
Yeah?
Really, really old, but
$90.
No, 90. I look inside because you never know what's inside.
Yeah?
And it's not open. Only have like 2 screws. When I was buying for maybe $3 on Goodwill, I say, oh, maybe this is really nice box, and I put the box like this and found something inside. And you know what is that?
What?
It's when you pass away, ashes. Ash?
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep it in my house. It's a really old lady, and I keep it in my house.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, here, let me see the mic.
Okay.
What we can do is we'll do a segment where if you have something you want to sell, you can bring it here, and we'll sell it to the listeners.
Yeah.
If they're and you can just it's like QVC. You can show them on the camera what it looks like.
That's amazing.
And then we'll put it up there, and then you can sell it.
Yeah, he's got a lot of fans. There's a lot of people that listen to this show, so you could just make it a thing. What's your name? Gabriel. Gabriel's
Saint Gabriel. I'm a saint.
I don't believe that, Gabriel.
Mexicans, all the Mexicans have Gabriel San Jose, Joe.
I just watch you hustle my friend Bert out of $60. I don't think you're a saint. That's not the way I would describe you.
Mexicans are...
You just found that in the garbage outside and walked in and took $60 out of your pocket.
The Mexican, all the Mexicans have a saint. You know, like a saint. Santo Judas. Yeah, Santo Judas. But all the Mexicans are devils.
Oh, the Mexican devils.
Yeah, like, you know, like the Chapo, he killed 50,000 people, is what they say.
Really?
In the English and Spanish news, they say he killed 50,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You go to Mexico and they put the bag in the back, the backpack in the back with the marijuana. You have to cross the border from Mexico to United States. Yeah. If you don't do it, they shoot you.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll bring something next week and we'll put it on the podcast.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? Here. Yeah. Thank you, Gabriel.
Okay.
Thank you, Gabriel.
I appreciate it. Here, you guys shake hands.
Okay.
Thank you, my brother.
Gracias.
My friend.
Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Aye.
Now I get money to buy my daughter's box spring.
You already got the money, Gabriel. We get it.
My granddaughter?
Yeah?
Yeah, it's back now.
It's back?
She get like hostages for 1 month, and now I bring it back.
Hostages?
Yeah, the lady, she don't let my daughter, to come to visit my mom, her mom, my daughter, and I say, oh, so I call the sheriff, and we go to the sheriff, and the sheriff tell, oh, take everything and go back house. Now everything's good.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because, you know, the police here is different than Mexico.
Yeah.
It's why Kate, you know, Katie, the girl with the Chapo, she don't want to go in Mexico, to the court in Mexico. She want to go in court right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the problem is there and problem is here. But she's going to make the movie for the Chapo. Okay?
All right. Thanks, Gabriel.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Okay, nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you, my friend.
Person, so,
Gracias.
okay.
See.
Thank you.
Your house, are you going to be your gardener?
I hope so.
Yep.
I.
Have a house?
No. He lives in New York.
Oh, I can go over there.
He's gonna commute every day.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Gabriel.
What the fuck? That was awesome.
That was, let's see if I can just get that probably looks like it. Let's shut that door.
Bert. Dude. He's a fucking gem, dude.
Fucking yeah. You know what's so funny? I've never talked to him once, like on the podcast, but I went in. I go. I need $60. Leanne's like, "What the fuck for? You're not buying that goddamn thing." I go. He just did it on the podcast. I'm looking like an asshole if I'm like fucking his granddaughter's a hostage. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And what if he starts a fucking Twitter war with me and El Chapo? He's talking all this shit about El Chapo.
Dude, that's fucking hilarious.
It's because of you. You know what? I'm being dead serious when I say
Why?
this. Because you have that kind of personality that likes to meet other people. So do I.
Obnoxious?
No. But that, like, any other person, I swear to God,
Yeah.
it would have just been like, hi, you know. But you were like, hey, what's up? And you started to talk to him almost like you would on fucking like. It's like, I think it's that New York personality. Like,
Yeah.
you're just like, yeah, come on in. And you started talking to him, and he was a fucking gem.
Yeah,
I gotta have him on the podcast every Tuesday now.
You literally should
He's
have a
here every
segment
fucking Tuesday.
every week with him. That's fucking brilliant.
He's here every Tuesday. As soon as I podcast, he starts up.
Yeah.
He was here with Chris Titus. I should have been bringing him in this whole time.
Yeah, it's a real missed opportunity.
And now we're gonna bring. We'll have him buy shit and he'll sell it on the podcast.
And then you take a cut, though, Bert. Don't let him fucking keep all the money. You keep 15%.
Yeah. Well, fuck.
Yeah.
I'll put it on my eBay. I'll just buy it for him and turn it over.
Yeah, dude. But I think it's interesting you say that because, the accessibility. I'm almost like training myself to be more accessible because you do the same thing. You're on Periscope. You answer the fans. You're very engaged with social media. And I think today you almost have to make yourself accessible. You have to, the UFC was a great company. I watched what they did and it really inspired me. I get really inspired by watching, like, I'm fans of certain people and certain things beyond just like enjoying it aesthetically.
Yeah.
Like, I love the UFC as a company. They're a really smart fucking company. And what they did a few years ago is they implemented all of these bonuses for their fighters for social media growth. So it'd be like a $5,000 bonus at the end of the year for percentage of growth, whoever had the most percentage growth.
Really?
Creative tweets, people were being funny. And they had a list of social media bonuses that they were giving out because they wanted their guys to be accessible and to reach out and to have a relationship with the fans. And I think today you almost need to do that. You know, this is like entertainment 2.0, where it's like, you know, back in the day, when Legends of the Fall came out, if you wanted to tell Brad Pitt that he sucked in that movie, you had to, I wouldn't even know what you would have to do. You'd have to fucking take a tour of Hollywood on a bus, and you'd find out the address of some studio that was, you know, maybe the manager.
And write a letter.
And you'd write a letter.
Write a letter.
And that's it. It's gone. Just, I have no idea. Now you could literally be like, Brad Pitt, fuck you, you asshole. And he'll see it. You know he sees it. Sometimes he'll respond back, fuck you. That's crazy. Yeah. This is like the time we live in. So if people like Paris Hilton and all these super famous people are willing to engage with people through social media, who the fuck am I? So I always make myself, like, if anybody writes me an email or a letter or a Facebook message or anything, I try to answer literally every single one of them.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. Until I can't. There's going to be a day where I can't do it anymore, you know, and at that point, I guess I'll say I'll try to answer every one of them. But I think there's something important about, I'll tell you a quick story. One of the first comedy shows I ever went to, I saw Greg Rogel at the New York Comedy Club. Greg Rogel's a New York comic.
Yeah,
He's been around forever.
I know Greg.
Murderer. This guy.
Yeah. Kind of like, oh shit, Isla, motherfucker. Keep going. Sorry, I'm just making sure we're both in the shot.
Yeah. So he, after the show at the New York Comedy Club, this is before I started doing comedy, I had a joint, and I went up to him, and I was like, hey, dude, I got a joint. You want to smoke? He's like, yeah, I'll smoke a joint with you. And we smoked a joint together, me, him, and a buddy of mine, and you know, look, in retrospect, I go, yeah, he was a fucking comic smoking some dude's weed. You know, it was his lucky day, really.
It was definitely his lucky day.
But in my mind, I was like, how cool was that? This guy who's been on HBO and Comedy Central, he's willing to take 5 minutes with me, shoot the shit, you know, smoke a joint with me. It always really stuck with me. That he was willing to take that time. And I watch other guys that, you know, they get done at a comedy club, they make a beeline for a cab or the subway, they don't talk to anybody, they don't shake anybody's hands. And I think that we have enough technology now that you can literally have almost like it's a mutually beneficial relationship. You know what I'm saying? I take as much from the audience as they take from me. Ultimately, I can't have a career without them. So I really try to make myself accessible to them.
That's interesting. I all I could think of in that when we were saying that was like, I wonder if it had been, say, 20 years ago, do you think Lindsay Lohan would have just skated by and they would have fixed it? That the company, the studios would have just like covered up her tracks and been like, no, she can make us some money. Like, and we would have never learned about what like her fucking coming undone. Yeah. Like, because social media and the accessibility of the news and TMZ really, she was a kid that was the first, she was probably the first soldier to hit ground with that. Yeah. Like the first one right out of the boat that was like, wait, you can't do coke and steal someone's car anymore? Like, fucking... That will get out there? Yeah, that's going to get out there? The fuck, man? Do they have a computer chip in my tooth? But because when Brad Pitt, I bet Brad Pitt has some fucking real skeletons. Yeah. You know, but when you said Legends of the Fall, all I thought was, yeah, man, they took care of him. That's it. Like don't worry, Brad. We'll take care of it. We'll clean it up. It was very controlled. The amount of exposure you had when you went on TV, it was a few times a year. You know, you think about even like pro wrestling back in the day. Hulk Hogan, you would only see him 4 times a year. You'd only see Hulk Hogan, like, you do an interview on, Saturday morning cartoons once in a blue. You know, you'd see Hogan, like, he'd come out at a pay-per-view. But that was it, dude. That's how big his celebrity was. He wasn't in our faces every single day. You know? God damn it, man. I never thought about it that way. Hulk Hogan, you'd only see him, like, best case scenario, if you were a massive fan, 10 times a year. Oh, you had to be a huge fan have to see him 10 times a year. With Hulk Hogan. Dude. And then he went to the fact that you saw him every single day. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, all those little... And then he said, of course he said nigger. Are you kidding me? His best friend was named Bubba. He's a 60-year-old pro wrestler who lived through the 80s. God, are you in your mind? Of course he did. Of course he did. By the way, is the clip of him saying the N-word, is that just that interview? No. He said it in the same tape that he was fucking Bubba's wife. Really? He was talking about how his daughter was dating a bunch of like rappers and basketball players or whatever, and that's how he said it. Holy shit. Yeah, so that's how he got caught. It was a one video fucked him twice. God damn it.
Which I don't think that'll damage him. I think he'll come back. I think they're already talking about bringing him back.
Yeah, I was sat on a plane next to Ric Flair the other day.
Oh, yeah?
And the whole time I was like, and I mean, I grew up in Florida. He was a big Florida wrestler. And as soon as he sat down, I said, is it Bill Parcells? Because I couldn't place it. And what's interesting is that he was walking on the plane right in front of me, and he is dressed very nicely.
Styling and profiling.
He was in khakis, a white button down, and a golf shirt and a blazer. And his chick was really hot. And I thought, this guy's got money. I remember thinking that, like, I wonder what he does for a living. And he was limping really bad. Like, really limping. And then he sat down, and it was like 6 a.m. I ordered a beer. He ordered a Bloody Mary. And this is what tipped it off. He did a move I do all the time. I used to
keep the change. Woo!
No.
Like, that's Ric Flair. That's for you, baby. Woo!
That was it.
You keep the change. Styling and profiling.
He did. I used to upgrade my directors, have them sit next to me, and then I'd say, listen, when she asks if you want a drink, you do, but you're getting it for me, so that I could have 2 drinks before takeoff. But the thing is, what happens in that situation, you want to make sure you get the right drink. You don't want to have someone sit next to you, like this girl Lonnie would always be like, oh, I'll get what champagne do you have? And I'm like, Lonnie, I'm fucking drinking it. I don't want champagne. I want I'll tell you what you want. You want a double vodka on the rocks. And Ric Flair did that to his chick. He goes, I'll take a Bloody Mary and she'll take a double Bloody Mary. And so he put it on her. Yeah. And then I watched him sip hers and then put it back in front of her. I do the identical fucking thing. Yeah. Sip hers and put it back in front of her. She's tearing through hers. I've just barely touched mine.
It's just an unnecessary shady thing. Yeah. The person you're ordering, you could just go, oh yeah, she's going to order one for you. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It's so funny how it's almost like a weird, like, it's your almost weird way to, like, be naughty. Yeah. Because I do the same thing. We go to there's a brunch place right next to my spot. Me and my buddy Dave Smith always go there.
Oh, Dave?
With my kid. Dave's so funny. One of the best political comics in New York, but one of the best political comics in the country, period. Yeah. That kid, in 2 years, everyone's going to be like, holy fucking shit. Yeah. That guy is out of control. So funny. But we always go to this brunch spot, and like he doesn't drink at brunch. Like, I'll usually drink a Bloody Mary. He'll usually get like an orange juice or like a soda or whatever. Yeah. So I'll say, dude, you get a free drink with brunch. So I'm like, let me just order the soda, and then you order me the Bloody Mary on yours. At the end of the day, the person doesn't actually really give a shit. We could just do it, but it's a whole
Don't waste your
setup.
Free drink on a fucking soda.
Yeah, exactly. That's really funny.
It was really interesting because I was like, oh my God. It really kind of actually scared me, in all honesty, because my cardiologist had told me, you're having a good time, you're partying, that's great, but it needs to stop. It needs to stop drastically, because you do not want to be 66 years old living this lifestyle. I promise you. I have clients that I have patients that are doing that, and I have one very famous patient who's you. He's a big drinker, big partier, and
his name was Lemmy.
And
God rest his soul.
I wanted to know his name so bad, and he can't tell me. But then I saw Ric Flair, who's probably 66, drinking like that, and I went and I saw him limping on the plane. Yeah. I saw him limping off. I saw him like sit up. He passed out and he slept like a fucking dead man. Like, really slept like a dead man. Like, yeah. And I was like, oh fuck. And literally I went to myself, okay, Bert, all right, now we know what we're doing. I know where we're at. But then, of course, I drank a bottle of wine last night.
I'm with you. I just stopped drinking like 3 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Just for good or just?
I think so. I don't really like drinking that much. I like drinking. Yeah. I like the act of drinking with my friends.
I do too.
Being drunk in itself, usually I'll just go to sleep. Whenever I'm at a point where I'm like slurring and saying, you've seen me. You've seen me a couple times now, where I'm fucking hammered. I usually get self-conscious and embarrassed. So I'm like, oh, dude, I'm going to make an ass out of myself in front of some people in the industry, or I'm going to say something really offensive or stupid in front of somebody that doesn't get who I am or the type of humor that I have. Yeah. And I usually just kind of shut down, and I become very antisocial. So, yeah, dude, the other thing is, and dude, when you're in the comedy clubs, you're drinking every single night. For the most part, we drink for free. Yeah. You tip out $20 at the end of the night, and you're fucking just getting loaded. Yeah. And I drink whiskey, so I'm drinking every single night. New York City, you do comedy 7 nights a week, sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shows a night, depending on the night of the week. Yeah. 7 nights a week, I'm drinking at least 5 or 6 cups of whiskey. And at one point, I'm like, dude, I don't even like it. I know that I'm killing myself. I got a 3-year-old kid who I think the world of. It's like, what's the point? I smoke weed every day. I think that's enough.
If I could smoke weed every day, I'd be more apt to not drink. But I get very self-conscious when I smoke weed.
Oh, okay,
So I start going, does everyone realize that I don't belong here? That I'm just that I'm like, I remember I had to read, Pat Buckles had to read my Comedy Central premium blend set back to me, and when she read it back to me, it wasn't funny, and it fucked my brain up for like she just read it like she's like, my name's Bert. I know what you're thinking, hot sexy name, Bert.
So
Bert,
it says
Bert.
Act out, take shirt off. Yeah. I don't really understand how it doesn't translate on paper.
Yeah. So you're doing the whole set. Like, I mean, it's just someone can dissect the way you perform for me, and it turns into it just isn't funny. Like, so you take your shirt off, and I go, yeah, well, and.
Okay.
And then, so you're listening to Black Betty for the first 45 seconds of your set? So everyone's listening to music together? And then,
dude, your set on paper doesn't look good.
And then you grab the mic and you say, I need to clean up my life. Okay. All right. Now I agree with it, but I just don't understand. What is this?
So,
is there a punchline here? And you're like, no. So you got involved with the Russian mafia and you always talk for 12 minutes? Okay, great. And so, like... But I literally always say to myself, like, I watch great comics do fucking material, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, and so, but, I mean, my stand-up is what it is, and I've been doing it long enough.
First of all, you are a great comic with great material, but I think first and foremost, you're fucking really funny. You're like a funny guy first, right? And that's like a Bobby Kelly thing. It's like a really, really fucking funny guy. Bobby Kelly was the funniest guy at a 6th grade lunch table. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I was the funniest guy at my 6th grade lunch table.
I was the funniest guy
at
my 9th grade lunch table, and I continued that 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. In college, I was the funniest guy in my fraternity, and I remember I dated a chick that told me, I told her I wanted to be a stand-up. Like, after I went to Europe, I came back and we were laying in bed before the Miami game, and I was like, I think I know what I want to do. And she was like, oh my God. And she was an actress. She was an actress. She goes, I want to be a comedian. And she was like, oh, honey, you're not like smart funny. You're like dumb funny. And then Pat Buckles reading my set to me, I was like, motherfucker. I'm fucking, and then every time I write like a smart joke, I always feel like it just stands out in my set. Like, I have no idea. Like
it's like Todd Perry tearing his shirt off in the middle of his set. You're like, oh yeah, all right, yeah. You remember when Todd was great, but you remember when he took his shirt off? It was pretty crazy, very un-Todd-like.
Todd Perry taking his shirt off. Yeah.
But that thing, I think there's a lot of comics, and I'd say at this point, back when I started, I would say half the comics, but now the majority of comics, because of social media, because there's no barrier to entry in this business, because anyone could create a YouTube video, anybody can go up on an open mic. I think most comics are smart and not very funny. I don't know how often I speak to comics in life, even in New York, which is supposed to be the fucking be-all, end-all of the funniest people on the planet, where they're making me laugh in life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They understand how to write a joke, and I think anybody with a brain can figure out the formula of, what setup and punch is and what misdirection is. But that funniness where people go, dude, you should be a comic. You know what I'm saying? Nobody said, I say most of the comics, when they were kids, they might have been smart and quiet or whatever it is, but nobody was going up to them and be like, dude, you're so fucking funny. You should make this your life. And that's something that I know you heard throughout your whole entire life. And I think that most of the comics that I appreciate and respect and love and I think are really funny, they've heard that. And that's just, I've always kind of gravitated toward the really funny person and then how good they construct a joke second,
Yeah. I remember watching when I first started, just sitting at the Boston Comedy Club and watching stand up, and then thinking, like, my buddy Eddie came up one time when we were watching everyone, and the only person he thought he'd want to hang out with was Bobby Kelly.
Yeah,
he was like, I don't want to fucking hang out with any of these fucking people.
It's a president. We vote for who we want to have a beer with, right?
Yeah,
that's life. That's right there. That thing is everything in every industry.
That
period.
Thing's casting as well.
Casting
is you want to watch. No one wants to watch someone on TV like that they don't fucking relate to.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe I take that back. I mean, but even still, like, look at Don Draper. the reason that character was likable, despite the fact that he fucked everything, drank everything, and was a horrible human being, you still thought, I wouldn't mind being on a dinner table with him.
Yeah.
He'd be fun as fuck. Pull out his big-ass dick.
Yes.
Guy's got a monster cock.
Yeah, I saw that picture. Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable.
You know what is interesting about you that I find that was one of the things that I kind of like secretly cheered to myself. We were at Montreal last year?
Yeah, last summer.
Year?
Yeah, last summer.
And I'm sitting with someone, and someone said, "Oh, do you know Lewis?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." And they're like, "Oh, did you see his set this year?" And I said, "No." And they're like, "Oh, did you know he's on the top 10 comics to watch for or something?" Was that it?
Yeah, something like that. Like one of the standout performances.
Yeah. And I went and I got excited. I got excited for one reason and one reason only. Every time you hear that statement, it is always some comic who you're like, how the fuck did they get that?
Yeah.
Like, and then you realize, oh, their publicist found out there was going to be a list and reached out to to Maxim and said, hey, if you're looking at the hot list of comics this year, can I send them your CD? And then they just were like, well, you know what? And you feel like you were grifted in that.
Yeah.
You're the only person that I've ever heard in those lists where I was like, oh, I know that guy, and I know he's fucking funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, and he didn't have a publicist get him on that list.
No, I didn't at all. In fact, I didn't even have that great of a set, to be honest. Like, I had okay sets at Montreal.
Yeah.
I think that it was just very different from everybody else. I was older than everybody else. I've been doing it a lot longer than everybody else, and I think that kind of made me stand out. I really like what they wrote in that little write-up, and it was, they said, like, a gritty, old-school New York set or something like that. And I was just like, yeah, dude, somebody got it.
Yeah.
Somebody got a little more what I do, because the guys that I always liked, it was just never the guys that were getting these huge TV shows.
I quote, I understand people make fun of Rich Voss all the time. I quote Rich Voss.
Voss is fucking unbelievable.
I quote him to people that have, like, the fucking joke he has about sitting Indian style. It's such an old joke.
What's the joke? I don't know.
Oh, this is so old. This is probably a 17-year-old joke.
Yeah.
He goes, now you can't say sitting Indian style. You got to say crisscross applesauce. When I was a kid, the teacher told me to sit Indian style. I got drunk and laid in the curb. I quote Rich Voss anytime someone says
that's a fucking great joke.
But he's just, and by the way, and I'll say this without a doubt, one of the sweetest dudes alive. I mean, just one of those guys that I could, like Bobby, I could call up and I could just be like, and that style of comedy is, I feel like it's nuanced in that, like, people, you forget that's funny also.
Yeah.
You know, like, you go to Montreal and
that's by the way, that's fucking, here's the thing, right? It's funny first. It's just just funny first, and then it's also a really well constructed joke.
I don't want to see, this is what I don't want to see. I don't want to see people fucking just emulating Voss and Bobby and Corielli and all these guys that are New York guys because they think that's how to be funny. The same way I don't want to see people emulating Eric Andre. Like, when I watch Eric Andre, I watch him and I get excited because he is doing him. Yeah. That is him doing him.
That's another guy I met I think I gave him his first spot in New York before I started doing comedy.
He is I
met him through, like, a girl that we just knew, like a mutual friend. He had just moved from Florida, like, days before, and he was really funny. Always really funny.
And he's different. And I don't want to see someone copy him. Yeah. He's doing his own fucking thing, man. Ari and I hung out with him at Montreal at the airport. Yeah. And just fucking bullshitted. And, man, that guy, he's one of those guys. There's a handful of guys that I've run into that are younger than I am that I go, oh, that's someone I would have hung out with a lot if we'd been the same age. Yeah, like Brent Morin, very funny, fucking undateable he was just in, I do a Call in Sick to Work tour where I go to clubs at noon. I do radio. I drink on radio.
Oh, cool.
And then I go in. Everyone calls in sick to work. We go to the club at noon.
That's great, dude.
We do a show, and then we all go out and party afterwards.
A lot of people do it?
It's sold out everywhere it's ever been.
What? Yeah, That's fucking dope, dude.
Well,
That's
I think
a great idea.
It's sold out mostly because of, the test will be Columbus on St. Patty's Day.
That's great,
I'm doing Columbus on St. Patty's Day, and that club's like 450, so I doubt it'll sell out 450. But St. Patty's Day, it's different, you know? It's like a different way to repackage, you know?
Yeah, I think it's great. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
See, not enough people are creative. People aren't creative with how we're like obviously we're supposed to be funny, but whatever vehicle we bring the funny in, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could just have fun with that as well.
It doesn't need to be like, I started really thinking about like ways to shoot my hour, and this is gonna sound really silly, but I haven't performed with a shirt on in probably maybe 5 years, 3 years, 5 years, like legit. Like I've done like showcase stuff where I'm doing 7 minutes, and I'm like, I'm not gonna rip my shirt off for 7 minutes. The reason I take my shirt off is for an hour, I start getting sweat stains, and I look like I'm fucking not doing well.
Yeah,
and it fucked with my head, and so I just took it off. And then I sweat, but who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
You see a bare chest, and so someone said, "You're not going to do your hour special with your shirt off, are you?" And I was like, and I got self-conscious of it. And as soon as I got self-conscious, I was like, I can't do it with my fucking shirt on.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Because all I remember is that my first hour special in 2009, me, Chris Titus, Bill Burr, and Pete Corielli all wore the exact same outfits.
Hilarious.
Black shirts, jeans, black shoes. Identical outfits.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have mixed up any of our specials. Were fucking similar. So I don't know. I don't know where I was going on this.
We were talking about Voss, but yeah, you were saying what a nice guy. People, that's another guy. Like I think New York comics get this like reputation for just being kind of dicks. If you're at a table with Rich Voss and you say something stupid, he's going to tell you said something stupid, and it's going to be hilarious to everybody around you.
Yeah.
And if you're funny, you will think it's funny too.
Yeah.
The only people who don't like that type of ball bussiness are people who aren't funny first, and they get self-conscious, and then they go like, "Oh, this guy's being a fucking dick to me." Voss is literally one of the sweetest people in New York.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the nicest guys in comedy. If you want to ask his advice as a young comic, he is so willing to like lend you his ear and give you his advice. He's just that guy, and I think it's just it's really just a misconception. Bobby Kelly too. It's like people think like he's this mean dick. Like Bobby Kelly's the sweetest person and the most generous person I've ever met in my entire life.
And he's smart.
Period.
He's smart.
Really
I think
smart.
people look at Bobby and they think, because he's from Boston and he's got this like ball breaking attitude that like he's not a super intelligent person.
Yeah.
He is super. I had fucking beef with someone one time and I got fucking really upset. And
Bobby's like, dude, I love beef. Bring it over. Dude, you got beef? Do you got any potato wedges?
Bobby, I called Bobby. I was in Dayton, and I remember getting on the interstate, and I called Bobby, and I was like, "Man, I'm fucking done. I think I'm ready to blow it up. I'm just gonna flamethrow this thing." And Bobby was like, "Dude, I'll tell you something. Fucking two crazy people are shouting at each other on the street. You don't know who's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
If one person crazy just shouting out to nobody, you know that person's crazy.
That's a good point.
Don't
Great
fucking
advice.
let them shout. Don't fucking get involved in it."
Who was it? Can you talk about who the beef was with?
No, everyone knows.
I want to know.
I'm not gonna say it.
Can you mouth it to me?
Hang on. Yeah. But you're good. Leanne, come on in for 2 seconds. Lewis, give me 1 second. Leanne, is there anything you'd like to share with us?
I would like to remind everybody that you can start your free trial website today at squarespace.com. The sites look professionally designed, regardless of your skill level. Like I could do it. It's so easy to design through their site. So if you decide to sign up with Squarespace, you make sure you use the offer code BERTCAST to get 10% off your first purchase. And you get a free domain name if you sign up for a year.
Fantastic.
I know. Squarespace. Build it beautiful.
Build it beautiful. All right. Build it beautiful. Bye, beautiful.
Bye, beautiful.
I love you.
Bye.
All right. You were saying, Lewis, or rather, I was saying.
I mean, you said it out loud. I mean, it's not like you got a fucking noise gate on these things.
Oh God,
it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. So, but that was fucking interesting. This has been one of the best podcasts I've done in a very long fucking time.
Oh, thanks, dude.
I literally, what's your schedule look like today? I got therapy in 15 minutes.
I got nothing going on. I got.
What did you come out to LA for? Just to hang?
Yeah, I got a couple shows, and then I do that Sirius XM show with Michael Bisping, UFC fighter.
Yeah.
So we're doing a live one. I'm going to the open workouts. We're going to do a live show from there.
Oh, really?
UFC's filming some stuff. So and then I got I think I have a couple meetings. I just wrote a cartoon. I wrote a couple cartoons, but the one that we're trying to get some eyes on right now, it's called The Alliance of Really, Really Good People. And it's so stupid. We wrote it like 2 years ago, and I just sat on it, and I met up with this animator who I pitched it to, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, I'll make that for you."
Oh, nice.
And dude, it's so stupid. It's about a team of superheroes led by Hitler, and it's George Zimmerman, Osama bin Laden, O.J. Simpson, Charles Manson and Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
And basically all of their crimes against humanity can be explained with them actually saving the world. They're good guys, you know?
Yeah.
So the casting, we got Rick Shapiro as Charles Manson.
Fucking love it, Rick.
Yeah, he's so fucking funny. Big J as George Zimmerman. Dante Nero as O.J. Simpson. Soder kills it as Osama bin Laden and Hitler. Soder is maybe the most talented voice actor I've ever met in my life. He's phenomenal, dude.
It's so funny. Every time I hear his name, I think of Bobby Kelly calling him Monster Voice.
Yeah, Monster Voice Dan Soder. He's great, dude. He's really talented. So if you guys want to laugh, it's a rough cut. The audio is a little bit off, but it's really funny. I just want to get a few thousand views on it and then pitch it and see if we can get some interest, because just the idea of a team of superheroes led by Hitler isn't too sellable by itself.
Yeah, no, I can see where that.
Yeah. So, also the bad guys are just Jewish people. They're aliens. Jews are aliens. So, yeah, look, it's probably not going to get sold. In fact, don't go watch it. It's probably better that you don't watch it.
How long are you out here for?
I'm out here till Saturday. I'll be out here till Saturday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Doing some stand-up. This week.
What are you doing Friday night?
Nothing. Literally, that's the only night I got nothing going on.
Oh, you want to come out and do a set at the Ice House?
Already, yes.
Okay, good. We got 2 shows out there.
Fucking A, I'm in.
Awesome. Perfect. I'll send an email. I should probably post this before that show. Yeah, I'll post this week. I'll post it. I posted Corolla last night. I'll post this one.
How many do you do a week?
I try to do 2 a week.
Yeah,
but just because ads. I never did sponsorships, and then Bill Burr and Al Madrigal were like, "I think you're wrong. This is why," and seemed like a lot of money to leave on the table.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, what am I not doing sponsors for?
Yeah.
And then fucking Sherry's Berries is not in this one, but it's Thanksgiving coming up, and they just sent or Valentine's Day. That's why I didn't do sponsors. This one's probably a Squarespace ad. Yeah. Squarespace, you can build your own fucking, but it's like, I'll tell you, the Sherry's Berries sent over fucking berries. My kids fucking loved them.
Oh yeah,
they loved them, and I was like, yeah, what am I? Like,
what is Sherry's Berries?
Oh, it's these chocolate-covered berries. They take the stems out, too, so they're just dipped in chocolate.
And it's actual berries, like real berries.
Strawberries. And you just wolf them down, and it's for Valentine's Day. You can get them to your chick.
That's great.
It's like, I want to say it's like $20 for a dozen, and if you buy the second dozen, by the way, they did not sponsor on this ad, but this is the setup.
This is how good Sherry's Berries are, that we don't even need the sponsorship money.
I did it for the podcast I released last night. My kids ate them, but the kids fucking loved them, and so now I'm ordering more Sherry's Berries for everyone for Valentine's Day. Yeah. And you get a second, I'll just say the sponsorship in case you're now interested. You get a second box for $10, I think. So you get half off on the second box. So you can get 24 for the price of whatever. And anyway, and just use the promo code BC. Click the mic on Sherry's. It's at berries.com, BERRIES.com. Like I said, they're not sponsoring this episode, but it's a pretty good fucking product. And
sweet.
I talked to Kroll about it, and he's like, yeah, if I like the fucking thing, I'll definitely throw my name behind it and be like, hey, everyone check this out. But yeah, so, all right, cool. Friday night. And then what are you doing the rest of the week?
It's got some, tonight I'm at Flappers in Burbank.
Oh, fucking great club.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times.
Oh, great club.
Cool club, always busy. And then tomorrow I'm doing that Venice Underground show, which is a great show.
What's that?
Bronson Jones' show.
I don't know.
Great show, dude. It's like notoriously a great LA show that feels very New York, low ceilings, basement room.
Where's it, in Venice?
Venice, yeah. Dude, killer. It's always packed out, 200 people every time.
Oh, my God. Please tell them to give me a call. I don't
100%.
know.
Yeah, dude, that's great.
Yeah, but I'd love to do that fucking
That's
room.
a killer fucking room. And then Thursday I'll be at the store. And now Friday, the Ice House.
Yeah. Thursday at the store. I'm there at the store tonight doing this new material show that Jeremiah puts on.
Okay.
So you got to go up with no material. So I kind of dig that. So I'm like, what am I doing sets in the city for? Like, I don't really want to. I'm doing hours every fucking week. I'm working every single fucking week. I don't want to hear myself repeat something that I know works.
Yeah.
But then you find Flappers. It's got the Yoo-Hoo room. That it's small, intimate, and I can take a new story that I'm working on and try to break it down in there.
Yeah.
And
that's a good thing about comedy now is like there's a lot of that. Like obviously Big J is What's Your Fucking Deal. I just did that storytelling show for NBC CISO. And then I guess it was in LA that Stand Up on the Spot. There's a lot of these like in the moment improv type shows.
Paul Preventa's set list.
Yeah.
And you go up and you don't feel like you have to murder, but then you really see the guys who separate themselves in the back.
Because they murder.
Like like that crowd work thing we did for Jay.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty good with crowd work, but until I have to do it, and then I'm like, I'm not the fucking best. And
it's so funny. You don't realize how much having, I hate to use the word crutch because it's a negative word, but having the material in your pocket. So if you have a weird moment, all right, dude, I got a quick joke I could just boom go to and bring them right back in.
Yeah.
When you don't have that, how naked you feel.
I literally was like, I had a pretty good set only because I brought a girl up on stage who showed me a video of her eating a girl out. So I'm dying to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I watched Jay do crowd work, and I was like, oh, that's fucking effortless. I was like, oh shit, man, I better never open my mouth about I'm good at crowd work again, because I can only get by.
Yeah, but fuck that cocksucker. He made a show where he just looks great in front of everybody.
That's like me going, hey guys, shirtless comedy, Bert Kreischer. We take our shirts off, and then we do stand up with our shirts off. And first up, Bonnie McFarlane. She's like, what the fuck?
It's all hot chicks.
Yeah, it's all hot chicks. That's not a bad fucking idea.
Great shit. You just don't tell them, like, dude, we're going to do, it's all shirtless comedy, which they have that in New York, by the way, the naked comedy.
Oh, really?
Which I'm putting together my own, it's a mock comedy festival called Skankfest, Legion of Skanks presents.
Yeah.
It's a 2-day-long comedy festival from noon to 2 a.m. at the Creek in the Cave on a Saturday and Sunday. We're waiting for a date, but the only show that we definitely have on board, we're combining New York's two hottest shows, which is the Naked Show and the Roast Battle. So we're doing a naked roast battle at Skankfest. Yeah, it's going to be out of control. Yeah, it's going to be really stupid.
How often do you guys do Legion of Skanks?
Twice a week, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on AnthonyCumia.com. You can get it for free on iTunes. We release one of the episodes for free on iTunes and on YouTube every week. So you guys can just search us on iTunes and YouTube.
Just any 2 nights a week, or just?
No, we do Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays?
Yeah, 9 o'clock.
That's fucking great.
It's
and
live.
You guys shoot at the studio?
We do one at the studio, and then we do one at the Creek in the Cave, which you, motherfucker, you got to come. Next time you're in New York, we would literally just work around your schedule. And you believe me, the fans have been clamoring enough for you. If you came on, people would show up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It wouldn't matter. So.
I'd love to do. I'm gonna take a trip out to New York that isn't for Travel Channel.
Yeah.
And just do stand up stuff.
Just come out and do that. And yeah, people love you on the show. We had Tony Hinchcliffe on last week, and he fucking murdered. People loved him.
Have you done his Kill Tony?
He invited me last night, but I couldn't get there on time. I landed at like 8:15.
Kill Tony is a great fucking live podcast.
Yeah, I heard.
It is fun as I did it with Segura. I've done it a couple times.
Side note, dude, Tom Segura's new special on Netflix is out of control.
Yeah,
so funny.
It really is funny. I saw him do Conan the other day, and he told a story about meeting Mike Tyson, and it was. I wanted to text him. I actually did text him and say, "Hey man, you figured out something that I couldn't figure out." He told a story that was slow and building to the point where and I was like, and it was confident. Like he let the silence be silence, and he didn't need the laugh, and he fucking got it to the point where it earned the laugh. And I was like, man, if I was doing Conan and I was telling any story, I'd be all over the couch. And then the bear came up and he's like, oh, marshmallow. Like I would just be fucking ham-boning it as hard as I could.
So afraid of silence. I used to be afraid of silence on radio, too, and podcasting until I listened to Ron Bennington. Ron Bennington knows how to...
Drop the mic. That motherfucker's the best.
The best. The funniest guy in radio, period. And just understands... pacing of a show. You know, when I used to come on podcasts and radio, it was just, how do I fill the space? How do I fill the time? How do I make
still
sure
do that?
Yeah, you can just sit back sometimes.
So I
thought it was great when you got up and you left him. It was it was a great moment where you go like, no, not everything has to be so, set and a specific order. It's like you can just kind of let it all happen, and the funny stuff will happen.
I'll tell you what though, I got fucked up on the podcasting XM vibe, meaning like you go do those shows and you do sit back, like you do Rogan and you just fucking chill and you just have a conversation. And like this is I don't think either of us could be mistaken for doing radio today.
Yeah.
But I did notice that I got so into that vibe that I'd go into radio and I'd be boring.
Right.
Because terrestrial radio is a little bit like, let's fucking do it.
Well, especially if they're bringing in a comic to promote his shows, they have a formula. It's really just not the same medium. You know, even like with radio, like I host a radio show on Sirius XM, it's so easy compared to podcasting. I mean, I got to go for 15, 20 minutes, go to break, reset, come do a new topic.
Yeah.
To talk about a topic for 15 minutes, It's nothing. To talk about a topic for 2.5, 3 hours and have it flow seamlessly, in my opinion, that's a much harder thing. But when you come on as a stand-up on radio, it is just your job to kind of create punchlines. It's not really, once again, we talk about comics that have like their agenda. It's like, no. Our agenda when you come to a radio show, it's like, be funny for this 15-minute segment, just make everybody laugh, and then get people to come out to the comedy club. Yeah. So they don't really want you to be interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting you say that because I found like this, and I'm gonna be very honest. This podcast right now is, without a doubt, probably the best podcast I've done. Maybe I've ever been a part of, that I've like just laughing and it being genuine and it being one seamless conversation that got obscure and odd when he came in and we talked about real things, and this is probably the favorite, and I'm not even fucking saying this. Thanks, dude. The favorite podcast I've done. I mean, like, Titus was one of the most inspirational. I just sat and listened to him. I was like, man, this guy's fucking smart as fuck. With Corolla yesterday, that's probably the proudest him and Bill Burr are the proudest podcast I've ever done, because I feel like it was a good conversation that I didn't deserve to be a part of. Right. You know what I mean? Like I literally went into interview Corolla and I was like, why would he want to talk to me? Right. How do I make him want to talk to me? Like, I didn't feel. It's so funny. Like you I mean, you're a really fucking respected big comic, right? Yeah, I'm also a fucking mess. But from my perspective, I don't think that you shouldn't be sitting at a couch with Bill Burr having a conversation on a podcast. I understand that Bill Burr is everyone's favorite comic, but in the grand scheme of things, you guys are just peers. Me and Bill, definitely. Like, Bill, I've gotten to the place now where I'm like, I'd rather spend valuable time with Bill and hang out in my backyard and smoke a cigar and talk about life so that I can figure things out, or talk about the way the business is working, or routing, or whatever, fucking helicopters. Yeah. Then do a podcast with him. Only because when I do a podcast, I feel like it with someone like Bill, it's work to him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, like you and Joe and Ari. I can do a podcast with Joe and Ari and Joey. Man, maybe sometimes Joey, I split the difference, because you do a podcast with Joey. Do you know Joey Diaz? I don't know him personally now. Oh, he's really funny. I've heard him on I've watched a couple of his Periscopes, and I've listened to his podcast, and I've listened to him on Rogan's. He's the best, dude. Yeah, he's the best. Great stories. You should do his podcast this week. Yeah, I would love to. I'll reach out to him. Oh, please, that'd be great. He's the best. But like Joey, even still, you do a podcast with Joey, and Joey I just sit and listen. I really don't do a thing. I literally sit and listen. Right. But I have more meaningful times with Joey when it's just me and him doing something. Yeah. Like going to get coffee. They're like, those are more important to me than podcasting. Yeah. It's really interesting. But this is a very seldomly am I like, I'm really excited to release this podcast. Oh, cool. Thanks, dude. I laughed. Probably I know what I want to put in the vlog. Hell yeah, dude. Oh, it's fucking great, man. That's great, dude. Well, thanks for having me on, man. Tell everyone everything you got. You've got Legion of Skanks. You've got the XM show. You've got, what is everything? All right, so Legion of Skanks, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 9 p.m., AnthonyCumia.com. The Countdown, Sirius XM, Rush 93, 6 p.m. Eastern every single week. That's 3 p.m. here on the West Coast with Michael Bisping, who's currently fighting Anderson Silva. This is my radio mode, on February 27th. So you guys should tune into that as well. And then also my other podcast, which is like it's almost my little passion project, because I think on Legion, it's very specifically like we're getting drunk and fucked up and being crazy. And Countdown is very specifically about MMA. If you want a little bit more of, I think, my perspective and my worldview, kind of what we're doing here, I do a show called The Real Ass Podcast, which is just, it's fucking great. I love the show. The guys that I have on it are really funny. Chris Tinkle, Zach Amico, Chris Scopo. They're great young comics that are just doing, I mean, Tinkle's been doing it longer than me. He's a fucking really funny guy from San Fran that moved to New York a little while ago. But that show's really good as well. And just look out for my stand-up dates at GomezComedy.com. And you can find him on Periscope. That's where I love watching your Periscopes. Have you watched any of my Sleep Scopes? No. Yes. Are you fucking kidding me? Maybe my favorite one was you and Rob. Rob Mayu, yeah. Oh, that was the fucking... dude. But here's the thing. Half the shit that I do is making fun of myself. Like, yes, I know it's ridiculous to Periscope myself sleeping. People are like, are you an idiot, dude? You're Periscoping yourself sleeping? Are you fucking dumb? I watch it back, right? And it's just me sleeping. For hours, right?
Yeah.
So somebody is in there, they're going, dude, Louis just isn't funny. He's a fucking idiot, dude. Who periscopes himself sleeping? I'm like, moron, you're watching me sleep, commenting, saying I'm not funny. Do you see how funny that is in itself? It's just hilarious. So I did a sleep, I periscope all the time, whatever. I'll just be walking to the train, walking my dog, whatever. I was like, I'm going to do a guest on my sleep scope. And then Rob Mayu, who's a comic from Canada, who's really funny as well. I was like, dude, be the guest, sleep in bed with me. So we just slept. We got naked. We got in the same bed and just turned the periscope on and fell asleep. And I was really afraid that, like, you know, in the middle of the night, like if you're ever hanging out with your wife, you maybe just get a little frisky in the middle of the night. Yes. I was afraid I was going to be like half dreaming and then dream rape Rob Mayu. And just start pounding him out on Periscope, and that shit'll never disappear.
That will never disappear.
Oh, what's funny is I deleted that one right away because when I was getting in the bed, I was naked. I kicked my legs out, and apparently my dick and balls showed to the camera. Yeah. And you said it. You're like, dude, I'm pretty sure I just saw your dick and balls. Yeah. And then I didn't say anything. I just went, click, and then I went and I deleted it because I knew if I said, oh shit, I gotta delete that, some fucking asshole would grab it immediately. I have no idea how they get it, but they can pull Periscope videos like that.
Dude, I tried to Periscope myself showering one time, but I turned it on without knowing it was on. And I fucking totally showed my dick and balls. And I was like, but what's really interesting about it is you see me talking to myself getting ready to start periscoping. Yeah. Like, I'm literally like, hey, guys, watching my hair. And then I'm like, is this fucking recording? And I hit it, and I played it, and you totally see it. And I was like, nah, delete. And this is like the very beginning of Periscope.
Yeah, people didn't know.
Very beginning.
Yeah, you can't do it. Something like that now, you probably have 30 seconds before somebody takes it.
Yeah. What show are you doing tonight? Let's all see if we can hang out tonight after the shows. I think we're done.
I'm going to come back to the store. I'm going to try to make it to the Roast Battle because I host the Roast Masters in New York, which is the New York version of Roast Battle at the store. Yeah. So I host it every single week.
Is that at the store tonight?
Yeah, it's at the store. Tuesdays at midnight. Yeah, I'm going to pop in.
Oh, midnight might be late for me. Fuck.
Yeah. I got flappers at 10, so the earliest I'll be able to get back is like midnight.
Yeah, all right. Maybe you know what? It's probably better for me not to hang out at the store because I'll just get fucking hammered. But yeah, all right. I think Ari's up there. Joe's up there tonight.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, awesome, man. Enjoy the rest of your stay in LA. I'll see you Friday.
Good, Bert. Awesome. Man.
This episode was brought to you by The Machine.